Well, the first thing I gotta do is change that music. For those of y'all had to listen to all that for 2 minutes. I'll definitely work on that, but welcome in everyone. It's a Tuesday evening, and what a long day it's been for a lot of us. Wanted to give everyone an update on what we can expect overnight and into the morning, and I'll just spoil the ending and say it should not be anything like it was this morning, with a few caveats. But overall, no, it shouldn't be like that. Now, will we have some storms? Maybe. As you can see, I pulled up the current radar out west, and as you can see, there's not a lot of warning polygons with this line so far. And I'll talk about what we can expect here in a second. But the only severe thunderstorm warning we have in the Texas side of this line is for, let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah, so this is for Haskell and Northwest Jones County. Now, that storm has a lot of big hail in it, but you can see it's, well, let me put this in motion. You can see that it's moving in a general southeast direction, so that should not bother us. And even if it got that far, I don't know that it would actually be that strong. But again, so this is the pattern that we're in right now, in the sense that we're in what we call a northwest flow pattern. And so that's just a way of saying that storms form northwest of us and move southeast, just like they did this morning. However, the big caveat overnight and into the morning hours tomorrow morning is the amount of instability that we have in the atmosphere. So, as bad as these storms were this morning, probably the one good thing they hopefully have done is they have robbed the atmosphere of at least a half the instability that they had this morning. And that's a good thing, because if that ends up being the case, then we will not have near the instability to work with that we did this morning. And that's obviously what we want to hear. But it's not out of the question that we could see stormy weather in the morning. It really probably into the overnight hours. Or there's a couple models that say we won't get anything at all, and I don't think anybody would complain about that. So we'll expand this out a little bit and kind of give you a broader picture. So as you can see out in the Panhandle, we have, I believe that's a severe thunderstorm watch. No, tornado watch. Sorry, and then down here is I believe that's a severe thunderstorm watch. So the yellow is tornado, the pink is severe thunderstorm watch. So obviously, it had some weather out in the Panhandle. You can see this one warning box that we talked about. But really, what I want to focus on as far as our weather is these storms in Oklahoma, because that has the best chance to get to us if it gets to us. Now, like I said before, there's no guarantee that it will get to us, but there's a chance. So obviously, if these storms hold together as you see right now, it would be just a little bit after midnight that we would see some of this. If they, if these don't hold together, which again nobody's going to be complaining about, then we still could see some redevelopment behind it that would come in toward the sunrise hours. So there's really kind of two scenarios we're talking about. One is these lines of storm, this line of storms. Let me stop this. If these come on through after midnight, and again, we're not looking at anything, horribly severe, if not severe at all, then that would definitely help stabilize the atmosphere for anything that would form back behind it in northwest of us in Oklahoma. That would definitely help us in the morning. I know it's any storms that we would get, especially after this morning. We're all probably a little, little gun shy about things right now, which is obviously understandable. I just don't see, however, that being the intensity of these storms, whether they're the storms that come after midnight or they're the storms that maybe come towards sunrise tomorrow. I just don't see that. All right, so let's do a couple of graphics here. All right, so kind of give you a graphical representation. The Weather Service does a good job with these. So what you see here is that you see kind of the graphic representation of what I've been talking about. Excuse me. So where you see the red, that's the greatest threat, as it says, the highest threat of severe weather. And as we were looking at that storm out near Abilene that has the baseball size hail in it. It's tracking to the southeast, and so you're seeing that trend. You're kind of seeing why they have the red southwest of DFW. Obviously, the yellow is a lower threat. But what are the threats? And so the threats are hail. Wind is a bigger threat. Tornado threat is about zero, not zero, but close. And then actually flooding issues is a bigger threat than tornadoes, just because of all the rain we've had. You can see down at the bottom there the timing graphic. Again, that's based on the radar representation you just saw. So if you're west of Dallas Fort Worth, pretty much 9 to 1 a.m. Dallas Fort Worth proper, that's a pretty big range, 12 midnight to 5 a.m. because that just depends on which wave hits us, this first wave or the second wave, or neither wave. And then, of course, if you're east of Dallas Fort Worth, it's 4 to 8 a.m. Again, depending on which what actually happens. Like I said, there are some models that don't show us getting anything, which I think most of us would be very pleased about. Speaking of that, let's talk about Thursday night, Friday morning. And so again, and Wednesday, tomorrow, like I said, after whatever we get, should be fairly benign after that. But again, we kind of repeat this again Thursday night, Friday morning. Now, it's as you can see from the red, we'd have a little bit better chance of seeing severe weather. Again, not saying it'd be like this morning, but definitely a better chance of seeing severe weather Thursday night, Friday morning, as opposed to Tuesday night, tonight, Wednesday morning. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. And then just a real quick preview for the weekend. Chance of storms pretty much all weekend. It's not going to rain all weekend, but it's definitely got a chance. And yes, we do have a severe potential, but that's kind of down the line. But I just kind of wanted to give you a heads up on that. All right, so let's look at the radar again and check in the chat. Don't see anything, so appreciate y'all tuning in. If you have a question, just obviously put that in the chat. So again, no severe warnings on the line other than that one we looked at. So I thought you might be interested in. I pulled up my webcams from my house this morning and thought you might want to see what I saw at my house about 6:15. So hopefully this will work. Here we go. And ironically, these trees you see right here live by the wind, so they don't look as bad see some power flashes. Not from a tornado. And then the power goes out. Okay, here's a slightly different perspective from my backyard, which you'll see many more power flashes. Same roughly time frame, 6, 13, 14, 15, 16. flash. No cat is this morning. Doing a little replay. No, it's not right now. Yeah, Angela, the next location is west of this of Saxon, Garland. No confirmed age. But as you can see, there's a good power flash right there. You can see it was. Miles an hour. Yes, sir, Angela. Third level this morning. Oh, Angela, yes. There was a rotation just for that. Okay, hopefully you can hear me again. If you can, just give me a yes or something in chat. I apologize. I did not know if you could hear me over the video. I kind of a new experiment I do with video. So if you can hear me now, just give me a thumbs up or something. All right. So I'm assuming you can hear me. Okay, great. All right. Yeah. So obviously, if I do videos in the future, I won't, especially like that, I won't be able to talk much. Anyway, so to answer the questions, Kat, not now, of course. That was this morning, about 6:15. Angela was asking if there's any rotation. There was that we did have a tornado warning about 6:15 ish. The rotation per radar was in Garland, not too far away from Saxe. I haven't seen anything that confirmed it ever touched the ground, but yeah, you do see these uh, little micro pockets of severe wind gust outside of what you saw here. So we'll be interested to see what they if they come up with anything in the next couple of days. I think I got all the questions. Andrew did ask if that was last night. No, that was this morning. Uh, yeah, yeah, Andrew, you got the up in Howell, you got the bad weather Sunday night. We got it Tuesday morning. No tornadoes, at least not certainly not like Sunday night. But yeah, so it was quite the eventful morning. Uh, and so when I put my mayor's hat on, I went and toured Saxe, and all in all, it's a lot of tree damage, some roof damage. Talked to some people, um, and but it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. Have a lot of people without power. We're Encore is working their darndest to get that back on. But overall, it could have been good. Yes, lime green sky. You're right about that, Angela. It was quite spooky to say the least. All right, so let's go back to the right. And by the way, I'm going to put all that on my social media so you can watch it at your leisure. I'll do that when we sign up. All right, so here is the latest radar image again, this covers Oklahoma and western North Texas. And so what we'll do here is we'll zoom in a little bit and go to the Abilene radar. Yeah, they already dropped the severe warnings. That's special weather statement. All right, so we'll put this in motion. Although we do have this storm is a big hail producer, but not headed our way, thankfully. So we will put this in motion. And a general east southeast movement. Yes, Andrew, we have a lot to be thankful for. Amen to that. In both scenarios, Sunday nights and this morning. Obviously, Sunday night was horrible, loss of life, but still, a lot of people have come together for that, and that's always a good thing. So again, you can see the motion. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get to the Dallas Fort Worth radar, and I'll take a second to get over there. But we'll take a second, and we'll kind of give a better vantage point from the radar side. So while it's doing that, again, if you missed the first part, there are some. Is that yeah, okay. So let's zoom in a little bit here. All right, so we'll put a little bit further away from the radar side, but we'll still put it in motion. Oh well, let's do this. Okay, so while I was doing that, I would just kind of wrap this up in the sense to say that yes, there is a chance for showers and thunderstorms overnight. We have two scenarios that could play out. Well, really three. Uh, One is this line, if it holds together, would want to come through about midnight. Uh, as you can see, not a lot of severe weather with this, so I don't anticipate that would change. Scenario number one. Scenario number two is that this line weakens altogether, dissipates before it gets here, but we have some development northwest in Oklahoma overnight, and that would arrive around sunrise. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the amount of instability is about half of what it was this morning, so I do not anticipate, hopefully, nowhere close to what we saw this morning. Could it be stormy? I think the worst case scenario, it could be stormy. But again, it's not expecting anything like this. And then there is a third scenario to where this line dissipates, that line in Oklahoma that has yet to form never materializes, and we don't see anything. And I don't think anybody would be upset with that. So, yeah, Andrew, hope I get some sleep too. Yeah, I do too. It's been a long day. Started early. All right, so that's really all I have. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and of course, you can watch this on demand, of course, and then I will post the videos uh, when I get off here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. So, like I said, lastly, just the last wrap up. Again, if you're just joining us, have a chance of this line to move through. Could dissipate. Another line in northwest Oklahoma could form, move in around sunrise. This line, by the way, would move in after midnight. And then we could have a third scenario to where we don't get anything from either one. And I think most people would be happy with that. So, all right. So I don't see a lot of questions, but in the chat, but obviously if you have a question afterwards, just shoot me that on social media and I'll upload those videos so you can watch them at your leisure. All right. Well, as always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you so much for, getting through this day, and still got a lot of work to do, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it together, and we're all going to be better for it, and we're all going to be fine. And that's what makes, speaking for my Saxy peeps, but that's what makes Saxy great. We all work together. One big community. I really like that. Okay, like I said, as always, I'm watching weather so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great evening, get some rest, and hopefully won't have to deal with it overnight. But if we do, I'll be here for you. And with that, have a good evening. See y'all in the next one.